Sick. Sick. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Sick. Sick. Did you see that?
I actually can't believe what I've stumbled across here. This is one of the games of 2024 and it was just a casual one. Anish Giri with the white pieces, and guess who his opponent was? Vladimir Kramnik has snuck back onto the chess.com server. He's supposed to be banned for 3 months. Don't tell Danny. And he's playing some blitz chess against Anish Giri. What the hell's going on here? And not only that, honestly, this game's incredible. Got everything. So Anish kicks off with e4. Kramnik goes e5. We get a Roy Lopez on the board with bishop b5. Is Kramnik going to play his famous Berlin defense? Stand up and bellow, Ich bin ein Berliner. No, he plays a6. A standard Roy Lopez. And now after bishop a4, knight f6, castles, bishop e7, bishop takes c6 was played. A weird looking move to the untrained eye, or even the trained eye, because you've given that bishop up for knight, but why didn't you do it straight away? Why retreat and then do it? Well, the idea is you've induced these couple of moves from black and it slightly changes the character of the position. You know, you can't immediately put a pawn on f6. Subtle stuff. So we get d3 now from Giri. He doesn't go d4. What a wuss. But actually d3, the better pawn structure. Hold steady, develop the pieces. Kramnik goes knight d7. The move of a man who knows what he's doing in these structures. Watch how it maneuvers. We get knight c3 from Giri, castles, bishop e3 and a5. Once again, not an easy move to find over the board, but these are good plans here for black. b6, a classic Berlin pawn structure, and it's at this point that something fascinating happens. Look who turns up in chat here.
Hello Anish, it's me Danny. Seriously, sup Danny? Am I not allowed to play Vladimir? I think I'm allowed, right? I'm allowed, right? I think I'm allowed to play Vladimir. He's only banned from prize money events, not from the stream, right? Or is it forbidden?
Yes, a wild Danny appears. Bobby on the beat, just doing his rounds, right? Is Kramnik about to get kicked off the server? Just kidding. So you heard Anish say, it's just prize money games apparently that Kramnik can't play. All a bit stinky. I thought he was fully banned. He must be very popular over at chess.com for them to be letting him back on. Poor Kismatulin serving a 1-year sentence. We get knight e2 played. Rook e8 coming open to the file there, the e file. Knight g3 preparing to attack the king, and now this is a tricky move. Bishop to b4. We're all itching to play c3, right? But if you do it, the bishop drops all the way back and d3 could be weak. Subtle stuff once again, but Anish doesn't go for it. He drops back with the knight, prepares to push f4, knight f8 from Kramnik, and after king h1, tidy move, preparing f4. How natural does knight e6 or g6 look? Keeping an eye on the dark square, but Kramnik goes bishop e6. Weird looking move in a way. f4 comes, we get captures. Bishop recaptures here. Now knight g6. You want to keep hold of that wonderful bishop. Complements this pawn structure really nicely. And after bishop d6 from Kramnik, we get knight f5, knife f5 as some people say. Worth a pawn, Garry Kasparov used to say, when you hit that outpost. But Kramnik just holds on to his bishop pair, hits the pawn on b2, and it's a provocative move because you've centralized the bishop. You're running into this steamroller of pawns coming through the center, but Anish is a bit hesitant when he plays it. You know, there's something slightly loose about those pawns. You can't quite put your finger on it. It's like going for a jog when you've just had beans on toast. Who knows quite what's going to happen right down below the belt. So bishop f6 played. Giri considers pawn e5 here, but he hesitates, doesn't want to give up the d5 square, so he just just goes c3. Hold steady, good move, a preferred move in my view. Just hold these nice central squares. And now a great move by Kramnik. These top guys, so astute, they know when to give up the bishop pair. Kramnik now goes bishop g5. He can see the pawn armadas coming through the centre, so he swaps these anyway on his terms. The queen activates, very nice. And after knight f3, good move. I see you, Anish, says Kramnik. You're not having my queen today. No Botez gambit. Well, Giri actually goes wrong here. Now, what should he do? Well, the pawn's under fire, and he should defend with queen c2. Now it looks a bit ugly because you allow the pawn structure to be shattered, the knight can attack, but you get knight e5, the rook opened up, pawn defended, different game, right? Queen has to move, etc. Let's come back to the game position. I can't do it in the normal way here where we go to the back cave because we're in an analysis board, not a tournament board. But okay, we'll crack on. Queen g4 played. Giri doesn't do the best move. He goes knight g3. He wants to have his cake and eat it. Is that the phrase? Something like that. Defend and hold the pawn structure. But great move now by Kramnik. He goes pawn to h5, looking to remove this defender of the pawn. And no time for h3. This is the big problem, or the knight drops. This is why queen c2 was better in view of h5, h4. So with this threat coming, Giri now goes queen d3 to cover the centre. Kramnik kicks on, the knight stumbles backwards, and pawn to h3. What a massive opening success for Kramnik. Well, opening into middle game. Now you can go g3, but it's an ugly structure. That's a thorn pawn for the rest of the game. So Giri takes, yes, opens his queen, but maybe he's got some chances to attack later on. He first does this, hits the lady, also defends his knight, and now look at the response that Kramnik comes up with. Just incredible. And before we dive into this, we have to acknowledge the opening preparation of former world champion Vladimir Kramnik. If you want to play like this, then genuinely, I cannot recommend enough the sponsor of today's video, Chessbook. Have a listen to this. This is Chessbook, your one-stop shop for building a custom opening repertoire. And what is so good about it is when you land, click on settings up here. Well, you can enter your own rating. It gives you a range. It's based on the platform you play on or your over the board rating. And then from there, when you come back and start building your repertoire, you know, say I want to look at the white pieces here. I've already entered some stuff so I can practice or go to gaps. But if I wanted to add something new, then bang, it brings up the board here. Say I want to look at e4 today. Well, it shows me all the moves my opponent might play. You start building out, and it doesn't just give you moves. If you click how to play from here, it gives you the ideas of the position. Critical. And then the best part is, because this connects to chess.com, Lichess, wherever you play, then when you come back in, having played some online games, you can go to correct your opening mistakes. And it will show you where you did something wrong under pressure, and now you can fix and learn. Give it a whirl. The link is in the description below. Go to chessbook.com. It's free to start using. Don't even need to make an account. You get 100 moves to enter in and practice, and if you love it so much you want to carry on, it's just $4 a month, a cup of coffee, right? So back to the game here. What does Kramnik play? The exceptional queen g2 check. This is the move of a man on fire. What a film that is, by the way. Love that one. Creasy and the little girl, forgot her name. So this one's played with check. The king moves, the queen is picked up. What a knight that is in the centre of the board. Kramnik at this point ready to play an Uno Reverso, do the procedure on himself here. That's how well he's playing, but he doesn't do it. He holds off, right? Now we get rook fb1 covering the b2 pawn. This rook centralises and the game really starts kicking into life because b3 now played stops some squares for the bishop or takes some squares squares I should say, and this knight doesn't actually have a retreat route, so that's why c5 played, preparing c4, right? If you take, the knight can retreat, Giri attacks the knight here, of course we're going to see c4, right? Well, no. This is where the game turns incredible. Have a look at this clip.
What? Yeah, he's completely on some kind of creative outburst today. Some weird moves are coming non-stop. Our opponent is suspicious, guys. He's playing like computer. Tactics all the time, what the hell?
Yes, f5 is played by Kramnik. What an incredible move. Now Giri does go on to joke that he is just playing, bit of humour, not actually saying that Kramnik is cheating, but here's where it really gets interesting, because Kramnik, so impressed by this incredible move, decides it's time to do this.
Okay, let's do the procedure. No, I mean, one move, clear indicator to me. I mean, it wouldn't even like cross remotely my mind, such move. I mean, even in classical game, I'm not sure. In blitz, no chance at all. So everything is very clear to me about this game. I report, I block, and report.
So Kramnik will finish the game out here, but he's done the procedure on himself. Giri now takes that pawn there, because if you allow this one and this one, this is Kramnik's point, right? Forking the pieces here. It is a playable line, this kind of thing. Okay, game goes on, but not what Giri selected. He takes, bishop recaptures, now takes on c5, knight recaptures, and the pawn on b3 hit. So a pair of rooks trade. Knight d4, defends b3, hits the bishop on f5. It retreats now to g6, knight e4 check on the cards, hitting the pawn on c3, so the king covers from f4. Knight e4 comes anyway, and now knight b5. Defending, attacking at the same time. Hang on. Pawn to c ships. Where are you going with that knight now? Well, it stumbles back to d4, hits the pawn on c6 once more, and now you can go for this line of knight takes here, liquidate a pair of c pawns, but Kramnik checks. He's in this very kind of tactical move. Now we see the king retreat here to e3, and rook e8, once again refusing the c3 pawn, and Giri's like, fine, show me the money, show me some nasty, as Daniel would say, but in a much better accent than me. King f4 played, the pawn drops, rook hit, not blundered, knight c5 hits another pawn, and now how tempting is rook d4 to centralize and cover, but you run into knight e6 check. Forktown, population Giri, and if you go rook a1 to meekly cover, then Carsten Muller will come round to your house and beat you with a massive stick. So that's why Giri goes knight f3, activate the pieces, give the pawn, but Kramnik doesn't take it. Why? Well, he's just in this crazy mood, right? Play for the tactics, play for the weirdness here, try and confuse Giri. Fine, I'll take it at my leisure, Giri. It's weak forever anyway. So he does this, then retreats, and now we get the knight centralizing, hitting the bishop. So the bishop centralizes to e4, and now these knights are active, but they're defending one another. Not ideal. But what does Giri do? He comes up with a tactical solution. Love this. Knight to g5. Giri has really sharpened up lately, you feel, in blitz chess. If this one's taken, bang, that is a checkmate. Squares covered, this the only move, now the checkmate, right? It was a checkmate in one. Really, really nice idea. So you can't take this one. If knight takes here, then the bishop starts getting loose. So that's why we see bishop c2, hits the rook, it moves, hits the pawn. This one finally drops on a4. Now black is threatening to take the knight, because if you check from here, the rook can block, and this time it's supported by the bishop on a4. So the knight has to move. It hops into c4, and this is classy. Great play from a former world champion. How many of us are going b5? But then the a pawn drops, and you haven't got a passed pawn. So that's why Kramnik plays this great move of bishop b3. This one drops, but this one running. Go Forest, that sounds terrible. Run Forest, it's down the A file. This is why rook c6 hitting the knight. Knight d3, rook c7 to swing behind, a3, rook a7, a2, and now the best move here is rook a3 so as not to get blocked out the game. But c4 played, we see knight c5, here maybe the best move was rook a3 actually, but similar themes in all these lines. Pawn running, you have to not let an interception happen, but Giri misses it. He plays h4, they're scrambling now, low on time, and Kramnik lands a great tactic, but not quite executed correctly. He plays knight a4 here. Bishop a4 is better, as we're going to see. Why? Well, Giri comes up with this excellent resource of knight d5. If you take there, by the way, then simply a queen is made. You know, the rook's not covering the square anymore. So Kramnik now, what does he do? He does make the queen here on a1. But Giri comes up with this exceptional shot. Knight e7 check. What a move. And now we see the point of why bishop a4 would have been better than knight a4, because now you can take, and if white lands a check, then the bishop's on a4, rook comes back, and you've got two pieces covering the square. But that is not what happened. This happened in the game. Terrible blunder by Kramnik. He gives away the game because he should go simply king f8. Forces Giri to make this draw. There's nothing better than a repetition. That's how the game would have ended. But this was played, allowing this check, and there's no moves for the king. Look at this knight on g5. What an incredible game this is. So the rook has to block, rook takes check, and this is the finish we had on the board. Take it away, Anish Giri.
Sick. Sick. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Sick. Sick. Did you see that? This is insane. It's a draw. Insane. Oh my god, I'm okay here. Wow, what a defense. Okay, but it was lucky, of course. Here I'm dead lost. Wow, what an epic defense. Insane. Whoo! Oh my god. Did you see, guys, that what the hell happened now? It was beautiful. Wow, okay, let's go all out. Let's go for him. He's tilted now.
And if you want to see more of these incredible games between these two guys, let me know in the comments. I hope you enjoyed as ever, and check out Chessbook. It's honestly very, very cool how it's integrated, helps you learn. Thanks a lot for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Cheers.